The who's who of the Memphis music scene on hand last night. Memphis Music Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Cannon Center. Tanya was there.
Oh, man. It was. You know, this is one of the songs they played kind of in the background when they talked about B.B. King. He was one of the people that was inducted last night in the inaugural celebration and ceremony for the Memphis Music Hall of Fame. It was done by the Rock and Soul Museum, and man, what a night. It was a fantastic celebration of the Memphis music and its history. One of the people who was inducted, some of them actually performed on stage. George Coleman, sax player, an amazing sax player, performed right there on stage, and to be able to sit and listen, well, you listen for yourself and see what it sounded like. I mean, these guys have still got it. It's amazing. And I talked with some of the family members of the ones that are no longer with us, but were there on behalf of their parents. Otis Redding is one of the people who was inducted last night into the Hall of Fame. Otis Redding III was there on behalf of his father. I asked him what that honor means to their family.
It means a lot to know that this is finally happening, and with my father being such a strong force of Stax music, it's most definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here, and very happy that they're keeping the soul legacy alive, you know, his legacy and all the other artists that are inducted.
He's not the only proud son there last night. Lawrence Boo Mitchell is the son of Memphis music producer Willie Mitchell, of course, who passed away in 2010. Willie Mitchell was also inducted last night. Boo says right up at the time of his death, Willie was still working hard on that trademark sound.
You know, they let him out of the hospital. He was literally out. He fell and broke his hip in late, the fall of 2009, and he was doing therapy and all this stuff. And the first time they let him out, he was out of the hospital 3 days, and in that 3 days, he wrote 2 arrangements for Rod Stewart and recorded them, and then went right back to the hospital.
Boo grew up in a house where big names in music were a mainstay, and just, folks who dropped by.
It was pretty surreal. I mean, like the Temptations would come to town and eat at our house all the time. We'd take the Doobie Brothers to Morrison's cafeteria, which is the equivalent of Piccadilly.
Now, another one of the groups that were inducted last night at the Memphis Music Hall of Fame induction ceremony was ZZ Top. I got to talk to Dusty Hill of ZZ Top, who's the bass player. He says that group loves Memphis.
This is our second home. We've done so much recording up here and spent a great deal of personal time up here. Got a lot of friends and whatnot. And we love Memphis. There's so much great music here. It's about time for something like this, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
And he says also he's excited, and so are the rest of the guys in the group, when they have new fans that find them through, either movies that use their music or maybe on iTunes. He says it's a whole new crop of folks.
The audience, most of the time, is representative of that. People of all ages. I mean, it sounds like a circus could be. But people get on at different times, and I enjoy how it affects how they view it, And it's a lot of fun. It keeps everything fresh.
Now, as I said, there were performances by some of the folks who are going into the Hall of Fame last night. As I mentioned, George Coleman, the sax player, amazing sound coming out of that sax last night. Also, Steve Cropper of Booker T and the MGs played. He and the house band that they had there. And by the way, that the band on stage was phenomenal. They got the Memphis sound down pat. And they were fantastic together. They sang In the Midnight Hour, where, of course, the Booker T and the MGs backed up Wilson Pickett on that song. And another one, though, that brought down the house was Bobby Blue Bland. And he came out, had some assistants to get out to his chair. He sat down. They put a microphone in his hand, and it was pure gold.
I'm trying to find my baby at all. I want somebody to listen on to me.
I'm telling you, this went on for 10 minutes and could have gone on for 10 or 15 or an hour more, and everybody would have just loved it.
He sounds good for 82 years old.
I'm telling you, you would put a microphone in his hand. I'm not kidding. He is absolutely stunning to listen to and to watch. And you want to see how the blues are done, you listen to Bobby Blue Bland. I'm telling you, go see him live if you get the chance.
And you did a duet with who on stage?
Well, they didn't know it, but Rufus Thomas's kids, may have gotten a little help from the audience because they sang as well. And I mean, the outpouring of talent last night. You know what? We say this all the time, but man, we are lucky to live in a city with this much talent.
Yeah, I think it's cool. ZZ Top from Texas comes to Memphis all the time. They spend a lot of time. They're one of my favorite rock and roll groups because they don't take it seriously. It's just fun stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dusty was the nicest guy.
He's the one with the beard, right?
Yeah, the one with the beard. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Did you ask him for some tips on how I can grow mine out, maybe?
I didn't.
Just throw the razor blades away.
Exactly. I think that's what he's going to say. Just let it go.
You ask him some tips on how I can learn to play guitar. Wow, I'll take that too.
That's a different story.
Yeah. It was a who's who of Memphis music royalty last night, and hearing those stories was just it was fantastic.